Welcome into the High Yellow Podcast. I'm your host, David West. I have another special guest sitting across from me today. Another brother in the building. See, I've tried to refrain from having close friends of mine on the pod, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because I want to have a more versatile guest. You know,
Of course,
I had a professor on, had two professors on, actually. Had a few ex-football players, trying to get an NFL player on here eventually. But today, got a homie of mine, a brother of mine, rapper, all of the above. I call him Noah, but y'all might know him as Francis Thomas. What
yes,
up?
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing, David?
Hey, bro, I'm good, man. We was just talking about scheduling, man. I'm trying to.
Oh, yeah.
I think we start right there, bro, because I'm probably heading back to Austin tomorrow, bro, because my schedule's all over the place, big, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. But you, on the other hand, I want you to explore this theory that having a bad schedule is healthy.
Okay, so before this interview even started, we had a conversation earlier about me wanting to have a bad schedule. So for me being an artist, because I do everything aside from other than songwriting, I mix and master, I sometimes make beats, I sometimes do my own artwork and stuff. I prefer to just rather stay up late and like function properly like I do during the day, and sometimes have just an overnight staying where I could just lock in and do what I got to do, because I honestly feel like sleep wastes time for people whenever it comes to the creativity and to the grind. So it's like starting from the bottom, of course, you're going to want to have to just sleep on the bed sometimes, sleep on the couch and shit sometimes. And sometimes you got to just sacrifice sleep because luxury, you don't really got luxury like that, especially whenever you...
No, I feel you. And I'm starting to understand sleep is, time is a luxury. I'm starting to understand that right now more than I ever have, right? And a lot of times I've been saying my schedule's bad because I'll go to bed at 10 p.m., wake up at 1, and I'm just up, bro.
How the fuck?
I'm just up, bro. And it's been like this the past few weeks, bro. I don't know what it is, and it's
what 10 p.m. to 1 p.m.?
I no. I go to sleep at 10 p.m. I wake up at 1 a.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I'll be up the entire duration of that time, and I'll just be up.
Like I'll be trying to get some stuff done.
No, facts. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure this out, man. I'm just slowly trying to get this on point because I've noticed sort of my evolvement kind of comes at night. Like I'm probably most productive at night, but at the same time, I do feel like a schedule, bro. It's so unnecessary. Like
it's sometimes necessary, but it just depends on what type of headspace that you're in for one, because you always want to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Of course, yeah.
If that's one thing, and then for two, it's like I said before, time is promised to nobody, especially during 2020. So you got to make time and what's due. So I just can't really afford sleep like that anymore, like I used to back then. Like my grind, especially when it comes to the music, like all these new artists.
You're a busy guy, bro.
All these new artists coming out too in Houston. Like I'm trying to work with a couple artists from them too, but. Yeah.
No, I understand, man. And you've been in the creative space for a minute now. We're about to get right into it. I've just entered in the creative space again, right? You know, we're going to go back to the rapping days.
This is like...
But this podcast has kind of been, for me, sort of my creative breakthrough as of recent. You know, I do a lot of creative work, a lot of journalistic work that's creative. But this podcast has kind of allowed me to get back into that space. So I see what you mean, bro. This is definitely it's a dedication, bro. Like this stuff is a grind.
And then, like Lil Wayne said, repetition. The more consistency that you have, the more comfortable you're gonna be with it, and then the more natural it's gonna come to you. So it's like the more repetitive that you are with what you're doing, like it's gonna come natural. Like even in front of like bigger people, like one day you're gonna end up having 5 million niggas like in front of you doing a live stream somewhere like Complex Con.
Man, we hoping so. We hope so,
bro.
That's the goal.
This ain't no hoping.
I appreciate it. You're right. It's a desire. I try not to say hope. You're right. I try to. I'm very optimistic about this stuff, but it's about having a desire. You know what I'm saying? If you have a desire for something, 10 times out of 10 it'll come true. You know what I'm saying? You got to believe.
Yes,
but man, let's talk about you, bro. I didn't give you a proper introduction, man.
It's okay.
Yeah, bro. Francis Thomas. Who are you, bro? We go back. Obviously, I know who you are, but please tell my viewers.
So I'm rapper, artist, innovator, architecture. I try to keep myself out of more than just one box, not trying to marginalize myself. I try to do what I got to do. But as a matter of fact, this the guy actually that got me started into making music. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing. It was him and his cousin.
I appreciate you being humble.
Of course. I always got to make sure like everybody get their credit.
Hey, no, I didn't want to cut you off. Keep going.
Nah, But this was like probably like 6-7 years ago, 2013,
20,
2014 era, some shit like that. But had a little rap group called
Oh no. We're not go that deep.
We can't go.
No, we're not go that deep.
Okay,
but I appreciate. Yeah. For the guys that don't know, I was definitely rapping before this cat was, and it's interesting enough.
And he was better than me too. I'm not gonna lie. You had the bars, bro.
I'm not gonna.
You had the bars, bro.
I'm gonna be humble, but I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just because I started before you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I wanted to be a rapper before you, but I always saw that kind of being my first. That was kind of the first love, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think a few days ago.
And I know you wanted to get into production too, because I remember you got the keyboard, the machine.
You know, it's so sad, bro. It took me so long to get in.
Them hoes too.
Yeah, no, it's so sad. I didn't start producing my music because I didn't have a MacBook. You know how naive that is, bro. That's the only reason it was, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, you could have used Windows and FL Studio.
Man, I was very close-minded, bro. But anyways, yeah, man, we was like you said, me and Daryl, we was rapping at we made a mixtape in New Orleans. We was staying with my great grandmother. We was stuck there.
Stacks.
We're gonna bleep that out. We're gonna bleep that out. But yeah, 18 stacks. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. We was doing that, locked in our great grandmother's house for a week, and we just chopped it up and made a project. Yeah, music was definitely my first love too. So I'm happy you brought that up. And then I ended up getting. It's funny. I did a project with him, came back to you, and then we got on our shit. We started making our own stuff.
Yeah, you were the one that actually introduced me. I had like probably 3 different rap names like at the time.
I had like 9, bro. It's
bro,
fine.
We're not gonna talk about those weird rap names, bro.
No.
Not at all. But whenever he came back from New Orleans, he introduced me into like trying to get my emotions straight, trying to make sure I know how to put pen on paper. So I started naturally on Facebook, trying to do webcam raps and stuff in front of the camera so I could just break out of my shyness and into character. But how did we get the microphone? When did we get the microphone?
I think
actually?
it was yours. You had it.
It was mine?
Yeah, it had to be. We
Really?
recorded at your house.
Because I remember didn't you have a Snowball, or was that Daryl's Snowball microphone that he was using?
Oh, it might have been ours. It might have been mine. You're actually right. It was actually my homie Nevis. He actually used to produce our music. He actually passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he passed away a couple years back, around 20s. I don't really know the date, man, but he's actually, if we want to go that crazy, yeah, man. Shout out Nevis. He passed away. He was the reason me and Daryl started. He was rapping. He was like about 5 years older than us. Yeah, he got us on the grind first. So yeah, quick shout out to him. His shout out Cheryl too, because she watches all my videos. So a little tangent there, but yeah, that's how we kind of got started. But then we got back to you, and then we kind of just we was locked in, bro.
Yeah, somehow I was making some heat too. I was trying to play catch up with y'all a little bit. I ain't gonna cap, and then I just caught natural personality to it, natural characteristics to it. Like, even though it was just instrumentals, it was just, at least it was something for me to get off my chest, and it made me more expressive and more sociable as a person as to who I was too. So basically music really opened me up, and it still opened me up till this day. Like, even trying to find my own sound right now, how I curate my sounds and my versatility, because if we're trying to go all the way back, like, really, I didn't even start listening to hip hop at one time at a younger age before I even met you. You know, it's crazy. I've been seeing this nigga since like 4th grade, so it's like my brother basically. And I love this nigga.
Yeah,
like 4th grade, 5th grade.
Yeah,
but before I met you, I started listening to like alternative rock, all that stuff. I think I started listening to hip hop when I first listened to Jesus Walks on 97.9 when I was like 6, 7 years old. So really, it was Kanye West that brought the inspiration to my ears, and like all the other aspiring artists around in the early 2000s, late 2000s, 2010s, it kind of brought more inspiration and kind of like curate what I'm doing now as to when it comes to like my new album that I dropped now.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna talk about it.
Of course, like To the Moon and Back. Trying to promote that, by the way. It's really fun.
Man, that's what you're here for, bro. This is a promotional tour type
type shit. But I feel like if people listen to this album, they'll feel more of what my sound is like now versus in what it was beforehand. Because I did improve like drastically, but I know when it comes to my next shit, it's gonna be more.
I can appreciate that, but I'm actually gonna get on you for a second because if you delete you deleted all our music, bro.
Nah,
like you can't see the growth if the music is deleted, bro.
Hold
hey
on,
man,
real
this
quick.
dude has deleted all our shit from 2014.
Nah, it's not.
I still have it in my files, but it's not out for the public.
No, it's not.
That's actually really good.
It's not that. It's because SoundCloud, they do copyrights now, bro. I got them inside my Apple Music though, so I listen to them every now and then on my archive.
This is when my ignorance come out because obviously I ain't rapping since 2014.
Come on now.
okay.
I be tapped in, so it's just. But yeah, it's just everybody getting copyright issues now. Like everybody wants royalties and stuff now, but like.
It has to be your beat. Like you can't just go over there and rap over like a mixtape. Just like
if you try to just sell that hoe, then they'll end up probably suing you or something. But some instrumentals on YouTube and stuff, they do have copyright.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Like I said, I have the luxury of having it in my old iPhone. So I mean, I definitely go back and listen to it every once in a while. But I like that you've I think we started off at a great place, bro, because. Like we started around the age of 14, 13, right?
Yeah.
And we're obviously 22 now. How have you been able to sort of keep that desire? Like I said, how have you been able to continue that fire to continue doing it, man? Because what I'm figuring out about this podcast is that, well, any creative endeavor, right, you have to be motivated to continue pursuing it because it's not going to blow up overnight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's that. And then it's the energy that you surround yourself with. Because the different types of energy, they could put you into another different headspace of where they're in when it comes to how they move and then to the type of stuff that they listen to, and it kind of expands your mind a little bit more on what you want to do with like your career and what you're trying to focus on basically. So going to PV, and fun fact, I'm a PV student as well. Shouts out my college, know what I'm saying? My parents graduated from there. But going to PV, it made me socialize more. It made me expand when it came to my music because right when I came in there from the bat, everybody started fucking with me and my music. Like, I think it was only one person I talked to when it came to my music, and then it just started expanding to like the upperclassmen because he started sharing it, and then I started getting in tap with Easy M, which is the producer that I be fucking with mainly wholeheartedly. Like that's my nigga for life. He got me tapped into learning how to make melodies and stuff, and learning how to get into more R&B songs and try to songwrite better too. So. Without him, really, and without the people that tapped me in with him, like, he put a battery in my bag in order for me to get better and to improve myself as an artist personally.
Yeah, I hear you, but that was fairly recently, like, right? Around 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
but I'm
like
saying, bro,
I'm
trying to go back to like 2014. Like,
oh, you trying to go way back?
Yeah, no,
like
just looking at that duration of time, because that's 6 years from now.
Whoa.
And like I said, I gradually got away from it for dumb reasons. Like I said, the production, I don't know why I just keep going along with it. Obviously, go ahead.
Okay, my bad. Well, shit, for me, really, because music saved my life personally throughout, like, damn near middle school up until now. Like, it's been times where I don't want to, like, get all personal and try to make everything get emotional and shit, but I used to go through bullying problems, suicidal issues that possibly nobody ever knew about. There's been times where I have self-mutilated myself where I could relate to other people, and the people that I could relate to, like, they put me into, like, what type of music they listen to that uplifts their spirits and stuff at the end of the day. So that's where I got tapped into, like, Kid Cudi, Maroon 5. I got tapped into, like, heavy metal, like Slipknot, Green Day. Like, all that stuff really just played a part into what I'm doing now, and it just make the music more better. It makes it more emotional, more authentic than what I was doing before when we were young. So the more that I got into that type of music, it made me mature more as a person, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and creatively at the same time.
So those different artists, like you said, because that's a very versatile palette of artists. That's what I've always appreciated about you, bro. You've always had like a versatile Slipknots and everything. I didn't understand it, but you was always on it, and I rocked with it because you rocked with it. But that was kind of your way of staying on point as far as this music stuff.
Yeah,
listening to people like them to kind of overcome any outside
It's that.
Distractions.
Yeah, it's that. And then it's like, because really I didn't have nobody else to go to, like personally, when I could talk about my issues. So music was one route for me to like express myself how I felt. And then when people heard it and when people like related to it, that's when people was like, really, you're cold as fuck. Like, you're gonna be something someday. And then that motivation, it kept me going and going, and just like it just got me to where I am now, to where I can really show you that I can sing. I could show you I could do rap. I could show you I could do heavy metal. I could show you that like I could freestyle. I could show you I could write. So it's just all that positive energy, and like I said, that refers back to the energy that you have around inside your table and like the creatives that you have around you. All that shit plays a part in who you're gonna become and what you do in your career, and like all that excels forward. Really.
Yeah, bro. No, that's a beautiful thing, man. That's mad important, bro. Because I think I was tweeting about this the other day. Like, I think the best thing about this podcast is that it's like me giving out roses to people. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm building relationships with people I've had on this podcast. Had my dad on the podcast. Had Larry. Had my professor. You know, and I didn't have their number before I got them on here, but now we're all homies.
And y'all more tapped in, and y'all connect more and socialize.
Yeah,
more,
man.
right?
So that's the beautiful thing about this podcast specifically, right? It's giving me an opportunity to again give those flowers out to people who I look up to, who I think are just mad dope, you know what I'm saying? And people who are better than me, you know what I'm saying?
And best believe they're gonna end up giving you something back at the end of the day, because
they already have,
the fact
man.
that you help them is gonna help you more inside the future too. So both of y'all get to bounce back off of each other when it comes to the relationship as well. So y'all are building up each other. It's not like crabs in the bucket where like one pulls each other down when they see the other one going up.
Word, man. That's again, bro. I couldn't agree with you more, man. Kind of get into this album, bro, that you just dropped, man. Tell me about it, bro. I got a few favorite songs up there. We got One Night Stand. We got Shine. There's a few. There's a lot. I like the entire project, bro. There's a lot of bangers on there, bro. But I don't know what sort of your favorite songs. What kind of how long it took you to everything about it, bro. Tell me about it.
So To the Moon and Back. So this was 5 years after Nirvana dropped. To the Moon and Back really is a personal album of mine that I wanted to share to the people kind of earlier. It was really supposed to come out really in August, September type shit, but because of shit that I'm going through, it kind of like gave me more motivation to record, and like gave me more space and time for me to express myself, going through relationship problems and shit. So this was really something personal that I wanted to drop for people. And the reception, it's been really good reception, but the only thing is I already know I'm underrated as fuck. And so, like,
hey, listen to the rapper come out.
Yeah,
listen to the rapper side come out. Go ahead, go ahead, brother. Talk your shit, bro.
No, I ain't gonna cap, because I've been doing this for like so long, and everybody know, like, when it comes to me, whenever I drop shit, it's gonna be like some fire. Especially when it came to like you, especially when I like you were in some of those sessions in my house listening to some of this shit before it even came out. Like, you was there last year, so you already know what's about to come out soon too. Yeah, so. But this duration of this album, I've been really trying to find myself after Nirvana 5 years ago, but I got tapped back into recording like around 2017.
Just Nirvana was your first album.
Yeah,
okay,
my first album.
Just to clarify,
like
people who don't know.
More of an experimental type album to figure out where I was, my headspace, and like show you who my influences are. This album is something more personal, where I can show off my versatility and show you like how well I've expanded for like the past 5 years or so. This album has been recorded since 2018 up until now.
Okay, yeah.
And since then, I've also expanded into being my own audio engineer. I don't even go to studios anymore when it comes to mixing and mastering my own music. I do all that shit myself. So everything that you hear on this album, I curated it myself. I songwrote it myself. I mixed and mastered everything myself. Like, everything was all my ear, because I trust my ear. And on top of that, it's just with studio sessions, I never really got my vocals back like how I want to, or like the sounds be oversaturated where I can't hear anything or function anything properly because the acoustics inside the studios, or it's just like it's not really a vibe there. I get more of a vibe recording by myself or like with one person inside the room, because I want somebody to tell me or point out the flaws in what I have and shit. So
You feel like the public studios, I guess, they wouldn't give you that sort of
nah, they just
feedback?
like nah. Really, I just feel like some of them are gonna be there for your money, but
Yeah,
it's only
yeah.
like one engineer I could really depend on. Shouts out Dorothy from Baron Studios. She's really helped me a little bit when it came to my sound as well. With Nirvanic, she helped me mix and master that project. But as far as this one, like I said, it was all me. But
How important is that to, like you said, be hands on every single element of your project?
well, let me see if I can answer this question thoroughly.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, it's obviously very important, and it's not even an ego thing. I think it's just a certain freedom you have with controlling sort of every element of your sound. Like you said, you get to kind of critique yourself, and you kind of get to place things exact. Like there's really no way for you to fail because you're placing exactly how you want it to be.
Because sometimes you just gotta trust yourself. Not everybody's gonna be there. Not everybody you're gonna be with musically or whatever it is that you do, you're not gonna agree with them. So it's like you're gonna have to learn how to do it yourself, gain the knowledge yourself sometimes, watch those YouTube videos, read those articles even if you don't want to. Like there'd be nights where I'd be watching interviews and I'd just be sleepy. And there'd be times where I'd be reading articles and I just don't want to read no articles. But if it's something that you really want to do, you're gonna take the time and sacrifice whatever time that you have out of your day, learn the knowledge, learn the theory, learn the patterns, learn the formulas, gain finesse, gain sauce from somebody that you influence. So for example, with this podcast, you could possibly gain influence from Stephen A. Smith. You can gain influence from Adam 22, from No Jumper, radio stations and stuff.
Of course.
So it's like stuff like that. It kind of brings certain type of aspects mentally to where you just gotta think about what you would prefer, what people want to listen to at the end of the day when it comes to what's going on inside your head. You can't really go off of other people's opinions.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. And what's interesting is I like that point. You being a rapper though, it's so hard to not be drowned into your influences, right? And the first instant you're caught drowning in your influences, you get called out about it, and it's such a fine line to walk. So how have you kind of been able to, to listen to your influences, not necessarily dive into them too much or tap into them too much, because you don't want to look like you're copying, even though that has a bad stigma. You know what I'm saying? You should feel free to copy. Like, I take influence from like the people you said.
Of course.
So, but I feel like in my domain, it probably wouldn't be as frowned upon, I guess, as being a rapper.
It's because now music is saturated and everybody's doing everything and everybody wants to be an artist and everybody's doing the same style of music. Yeah. Like back then, everybody used to call me like Travis, but they still fuck with me at the same time. But I had to take that time, I had to take those lessons and had to listen back to what they were listening to in order for me to progress myself forward into my own sound and in order to show off my versatility and to be different. So whenever people listen to my music, they be like, your shit is different as fuck. Or like they'll nod to it, but they know that the shit is hard. But it's like when something's different on the table, people stand still. But when it's something in common, people get hype over it. Because the reason, and it's not a bad thing that people stand still if something's different. They're just trying to figure out how can they nod to it? How can they relate to it? They want to listen to the words. They want to listen to the melodies, the cadences when it comes to certain things like that. So as it comes from me, when I'm not trying to oversaturate myself and try to dig deep into my influences, I try my best to just keep myself surface level type shit. And I'm just really just trying to be me at the end of the day.
Are these all things you're thinking about throughout the duration of while you're recording a project, while you're getting everything done in terms of originality and trying to not follow what's common or what's trendy?
Low key, yeah. Like most of the time, I don't even be talking about like drugs and shit and fucking bitches and shit all on my tracks. Like some tracks I do, but you have other tracks where I try to teach people knowledge or like try to like spit out my pain or how I'm feeling personally, and like people relate to that. You can't have every track like the same track. Like you're gonna have to want to have some guitar strings in your shit. Sometimes want to have some 808s. Sometimes want to play some piano keys. Sometimes want to rap. Sometimes want to sing. You can't just stay in one pot basically.
Yeah.
And when it comes to me like listening to beats and shit, whenever I try to get into the studio, I try my best figure out cadences first more than anything, because really the formula in music now for one is And this is for people who are doing music, so listen carefully because I'm giving you the sauce right now.
I'm giving you free game.
I'm giving you free game. Like, just listen. Key number one is usually vowels and hooks, melodies, cadences. So that's the main sources that I try to look for when it comes to music first, and then I get to my verses and my rapping later because I know I can execute that faster versus in a hook, really. Sometimes I write, sometimes I don't. Some of these songs on this album I didn't have the feel like I needed to write to, but some songs I did because either one, it was just I just wanted to take the time and think personally of how I felt deeply, or it's just I wasn't in front of a microphone at the time.
Yeah, is this something you've kind of gathered over time? Because like you said, you brought up the people at PV, man.
Mhm.
We have some cold ass
Yeah,
rappers,
they got
bro.
some
And
cold
it's like,
artists.
I don't know what it is about Houston, bro, but they produce the most talented individuals.
And everybody's underrated, and that's a crazy thing. And I
Yeah.
see a lot of people, and here's the crazy thing. I put you into the Houston Underground too, and I showed you a couple of artists, and
You put me on Malik.
So shouts out himself, bro.
I'll shout you out, bro, but you need to come on the pod, bro. I've been trying to get you
Yeah.
for a minute, bro. He been kind of denying.
He been
Go ahead,
low
go
key.
ahead,
No,
go
he
ahead.
been low key,
Go ahead,
but it's all love though.
Yeah.
But nah, like some of the Houston Underground scenes that I put you on that you didn't even know about. Like we have artists all around Houston that are just not getting looked at. It's just because Houston is an oversaturated, uncooperative, and unsupportive city. Like when I look at Atlanta, the Black Hollywood, California, the West Coast, New York, East Coast, they're big states and they have support for each other. Same thing with Florida. But the thing is with Houston, everybody's, like I said, everybody's doing everything. So it's just whenever we see one rapper that's talented, see another rapper doing something, the talented rapper gets jealous or the other rapper gets jealous, but nobody wants to like collab on some shit. Everybody wants to hate on each other for some reason. I don't understand why, because we're trying to get somewhere at the end of the day. If we use our support system, our fan base is the way that we should, instead of just being separate from each other, I feel like everybody would eat at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you think it's just a rapper thing,
It's a big ego thing, and because it's a big ass ego thing, and it comes from what side click that you on nowadays, what type of gang, what type of set. Like if you're not from the trap and you from the suburbs, we're not fucking with you, or it's a clout thing. It's a clout chasing thing.
That's probably why we're underrated, because we haven't got to the point where we're collabing for one another. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you're more familiar with the space than I am, right? So maybe that's where maybe that's why we're so overlooked, because we haven't got to a place where we could just collab like that. Like I know you do, but I mean, I guess would you say for the majority of rappers in Houston that come up, they don't want to
like a couple of them I could say, because I've been in studios with some of these people and I have worked with some of these people, so I can't say not every rapper and not every artist from Houston is like that, but I could say about a vast 61% is more of a crabs in the bucket type of ordeal when it comes to our city. But if I ever go to Dallas or go to Austin or go to Pasadena or something, everybody's more cooperative. But when it comes down to Houston, I guess it's because we also have a melting pot of like other people from other different states too, which you got to remember, and coming from other different sub-cities of Texas, period. So I guess that's another thing, but that shouldn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know if that's it though, because Austin, bro, I've had the pleasure of living there for 2 years now, and it's
amazing.
Yeah, what's so great about it is there are no
amazing.
egos, bro. I think that's kind of how I've sort of diffused mine over time, bro. Is being around people who
that are like-minded like you and make you make you healthy, and that's reversed back to the last conversation about energy, because you're around that type of energy that wasn't so selfish and so biased based on their creative and their ideas. Y'all collabed on something.
Yeah, it's definitely more positivity in Austin. I wish I could figure out why, but I mean, people are just like you said. It's not it's a melting pot as well.
I feel like it's the air that y'all breathe, because Austin got some good ass air. I ain't gonna cap.
I mean, Corona, like maybe the air isn't as great right now, but like no, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I would agree, bro, because you came for South by. You knew what South by was before I even knew what it was.
I'm not gonna lie. My first South by Southwest was with John eBay in 2016. That was my first South by. That's when I saw Uzi when he was blowing up.
Yeah, I didn't know what South by was back then. I didn't know what South by was till I got to Austin in 2018. But
like I knew what South by was since like 5th, 6th grade. But it's just I wasn't like, hey mom, let's go to Austin for South by Southwest, because I'm young, and at the time I wasn't thinking about music at the time either.
Yeah, man, but I'm trying to really understand, because it's so accurate, bro. I can't emphasize, like, living in Austin for a minute, I've wrapped my head around this as well. Like, why is the community why are we so much more positive here? Like,
I have no idea. I really
like
don't know.
I'm gonna come clean. I live in Austin before I lived in Houston. I live in Houston, quite frankly.
I can say I could agree with that.
Yeah, man,
because
it's just-
I love Austin to death. Like, I wish I could have went to UT if I should be, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, no, you definitely could have. You definitely could have. I think that's a good transition into like sort of education because we start off at the same place. We both start off at PV.
Mhm.
You've kind of taken different approaches to your education. Well, we both withdrew at one point in time. I obviously went back. You didn't. So I guess kind of what that reason was and why didn't you decide to go back and how, I guess, sort of your view on education now?
I mean, shit. I mean, what do you want me to start off with first is the question.
What was your
Why did I leave?
when did you drop? Why did you drop out? What was your experience like? Because for me, I'll give you mine.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
bro, I was just lost, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. So I've told this a few times, but
Go ahead.
I knew I wanted to be somewhere else.
Mhm.
No shots at PV because
We love our HBCUs.
Yeah,
we
100%.
love
But
our
I've
HBCUs.
always seen something better out there. Like I've always wanted more, and that's just with anything in life, right? So that was the first reason. I was trying to forge my own path in a lot of
trying
ways.
to figure out who you are.
Yeah, bro, because you went to PV and
Mhm.
cousins went to PV. Your parents went to PV. I have siblings like, you know what I'm saying? It's just a recurring cycle. And I don't know. I've always tried to
You just want to
forge.
break some cycle.
Yeah,
and then
bro,
make,
trying to have an
make your own lane.
Yeah, man, that's all it is, bro. So that's kind of, and again, I was lost. I was just lost, bro. Like I didn't know. I knew I wanted to get out of there, but I didn't know where I wanted to go per se. And I was stuck. To be quite frank with you, man. So that was kind of my reason for dropping out. And then UT just sort of was in my playing cards because I was at Prairie View just grinding, bro. I was trying to get out of there. Like, and it sounds so bad, but like I've explained enough times, but you should know, like, my intentions were good behind it. Like I always saw something bigger, right? And me seeing all the homies at PV, this is cool.
It was kind of like you just
like,
want to get away and try to.
And
like,
it felt
find
a little
different
like
people.
high school to me. I
can relate to that. I
bruh.
can see that because I did see a couple.
They
people,
gonna kill me, bro, because I've been getting a lot of support from Lamar. I did not like my time at Lamar. I just didn't, man. I really didn't
either. I'm gonna be real with
It was
you.
a lot of closed-minded cats, bro, and I was closed-minded too. But I feel like we were all. I didn't see the growth there, man.
I feel like at that age, at that time, we were all close-minded, but we were just trying to figure out what we were gonna be at the end of the day. By the time we graduated, I feel like spring semester, junior year of high school, senior fall semester, that was the time that I knew like what I wanted to do, but I wasn't too sure. So instead, I just wanted to go to college to try to figure that out. So that's for me. But to answer your question on why did I drop out, I didn't like necessarily drop out, kind of like withdrew at the time because 3 years ago I was dealing with something personally that I was going through, and it kind of led me to a type of mental headspace to where I was going through depression and like going through other shit that going on at home. So, and then I wanted to focus on my music the most. So that's the reason why I wanted to withdraw. And then at that time during 2018, that was the same exact year when I got that show for Rich the Kid. So like it kind of put me on.
That was a big deal. That was fire, bro. I remember that. I just got back from Florida.
I remember
from our Rolling
that.
was it Rolling Loud? Yeah, man. We just got back, bro.
You know what's crazy? I saw. Damn, I'm not gonna say her name. I'm not gonna say her name on this. Never mind.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Okay.
No, man.
Yeah.
But it was that year when I went to perform for Rich the Kid. And then I started figuring out myself more and more maturely. That's why I started taking a break from smoking and shit. And then at that time, that's when I'm not trying to promote drugs or anything. I'm sorry, but this is when I got typed into psychedelics too. So it kind of made me want to find myself escape from certain type of things that I wanted out of my life, face certain demons that I want out of my life, good trips or not.
Yeah.
So it kind of made me expand musically as well when it came to the knowledge and the education and the versatility behind it as well.
Okay.
And then
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Then I re-enrolled back. And then this year, I decided to withdraw because I just feel like I'm getting more serious and more tapped into my music more than anything. But I do want to go back to school personally for audio engineering, but I just don't know the perfect time yet just because I'm so tapped into audio engineering now. Why would I have to have a degree for it if I'm still like trying to figure it out right now and I'm still doing good with my music? And
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I can understand that juggling act, especially because you've seen you can do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's of course your discretion because I can see the how you can say what's the point of this because I'm producing my own shit. Like
Of
I'm
course.
making my own content. Why do I need to get a degree? You know, it's something I kind of well, I'll be lying if I said I've thought on that degree because obviously I go to school for journalism.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, podcast is just one realm of journalism. I've done newspapers, television. That's all in the same realm, right? So I
Yeah.
see the benefits of having of obtaining a journalism degree. But at the same time, I could be in that space where, well, I'm doing a podcast on my own. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to do that. And I guess kind of diving into that a little bit more. You said how your degree, you're kind of on the fence as to whether or not to go back. And
Yeah.
what'd you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think this is another good segue into sort of the conversations we've had about degrees in general. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have some takes, man. I don't know if you wanna get into those on
I
the
mean, we can. I'm not tripping. Okay, so our previous conversations about a degree. Me personally, because the field that I'm in, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a health physician, I'm not a social worker. I'm not into any of those type of fields. My previous fields, whenever I was in school, it was architecture and business and marketing.
yeah.
I feel like those things help me as well with my music, especially in the architecture field, because other than music, I have other plans inside my life that I want to do for the future and for the community of Houston, Texas in general. And like, do I believe that a degree can get you anywhere in life? Me personally, honestly, I'm gonna be blunt with you. No, not really. And I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna answer this why. It's because the fact that you have all these hardworking people in America that gets bachelor's degrees going to school for all these corporate desk office jobs. It's probably a good chance they will get an internship. Probably a good chance they won't get an internship. At the end of the day, you're still living off that debt up until probably you're into your 60s, 70s, or if you get a good pay, six-figure salary, or graduated with a scholarship or something like that. I feel like, since if you want to get political with this, we could get political as well.
I mean, go ahead. I agree with some of the stuff you're saying, but I'll let you.
Basically, I just feel like when it comes to college degrees, personally for the lower class and the
people of color,
minorities as
Yeah.
well, especially. But I don't want to put the minorities into the lower class or lower middle class because you also have minorities that could be in the upper class too. So
Yeah.
to me, it don't matter what type of skin color that you with.
Okay.
I feel like those are more forcefully. I feel like those are more forced upon when it comes to education, and then basically they're just stuck inside the same hole that they dug themselves into, like they did.
It's a systematic.
It's
thing.
the systematic.
Yeah,
thing.
let me jump in. So this is where my disconnect kind of is, right? Because I do think the school system is flawed. I think it's flawed. I also think that they make it very difficult to obtain education. Let's look at what's going on right now, right?
Yes.
There's no reason my tuition should be increasing right now during coronavirus, where during a pandemic, and I'm going online classes only.
Exactly.
So why is my tuition going up? I've had these conversations, inside. But at the same time, however, what we disconnect is that a college degree will open so many doors, man. And I feel like the debt is a great part because I'm in debt and I understand it. However, I think that comes down to just having a more financial literate society, right? People don't. I can speak from my own perspective and my parents' perspective because they weren't educated on this as well. They didn't take the time to research the financial literacy. They never did, right? Whereas I set out, and that's kind of when I took the initiative to kind of learn about why am I paying so much for school? Why do I owe so much in this? Why am I taking out these loans? You know what I'm saying? And I can agree with you that it's put me in a hole because it has, right? Mm-hmm. But I could also say that if we're producing more financial literate people and people are going in with more knowledge, and it goes back to it's a systematic thing, right? It's almost like running in a circle, man, because we're not it's not to the point yet where we're being educated on this stuff. So that's another thing. Why isn't school teaching us this stuff? You know what I'm saying? So again,
they don't even teach us Black history. So what do you think they're gonna teach us about any of this financial literacy that they're gonna put when it comes to
no, I hear you.
When it comes to our class?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with my parents. My parents went to PV. They're both PV alumnus. My mom got a master's for social work, and my dad got a bachelor's for
shout out to them.
Shout out to them, especially sports medicine. He got into a bachelor's in sports medicine. But the thing is my dad doesn't even use his degree at all whatsoever, but he went to college for it. And my mom is still paying off the debt.
But why do you think that is, though? Why do you think he doesn't? Did he not pursue a career in sports medicine, or did
he did? But it's other personal issues that I just rather not talk about during the interview. But
I feel like you have to take that in consideration, though, when you say why he didn't apply his degree, because again, personal things happen, and he couldn't. Maybe he couldn't pursue that career in sports medicine. I just feel like you can't label college degrees as being. I know you even said useless on the pod.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Okay. I don't think that they're like useless, but I just feel like when it comes to the financial aspect of gaining a college degree, I don't think it's personally necessary, because why would you educate somebody that's mainly taking prerequisites instead of taking their main courses until 2 years after you get into college, and then on top of that, go back outside the system, probably living back with your parents if you don't even have the proper money or the scholarship to provide for yourself on your own. Stay there for the next 2-3 years, work there until you end up getting an apartment or a house, and then end up paying the debt all over again, and then teaching your kids the same lesson, versus having a system where it's more as to, well, we can put the educational system for free. It's the same thing when it comes to public schools. What's the difference between a public school and a college? They're both schools, and you get taught the same shit. It's just more advanced.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the literacy, man. Like I said, the people who I follow nowadays who are very educated on this stuff is go to a private school for 2 years, right?
Yeah.
I was too, and I'm sure most people think like this. I was way too. I had a big ego and like coming out of high school. I think that's why I didn't think about it. I was like, I'm trying to get out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like everybody wanted to just get out, just like graduate high school and get out of college.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because until we kind of break that notion, we won't be able to sort of make better financial decisions, right?
And that's another.
Go ahead.
And that's another thing. Our parents, especially as minorities, they push college onto us harder, especially after we graduate. But I just feel like we should use our age now in order to be capable and make the youth transpire into other generations, is what I'm basically trying to get at as well.
And you don't feel like education is an essential to doing that?
It's an essential to doing it, but as far as just going straight into college right after high school, why can't you just use your youth for something else? If you pursue your own goals and dreams, like, because I know certain type of people that wanted to just do more than what they're doing inside college, but just regret what they should have did after they graduated high school. Me, do I regret staying inside college? No, because it got me more tapped in and more sociable. So I could say college is more reliable and beneficiary when it comes to making connections. So whatever that you want to pursue in college is really a great space for connections. I got connected into music. That's the reason why I wanted to go to college. So I wanted to see what it was like outside of Lamar and outside of our city of Rosenberg.
But you think it's a dangerous space that people aren't necessarily pursuing their passions while in school?
Yeah, because some people would grow up miserable at the end of the day and then talk about what they wish they could have done. And I've heard stories before when it comes to the older generation, like the baby boomers and Generation Y, like what they wish they would have done whenever they were my age instead of like doing this or something. I remember this last conversation a couple years ago with my grandma. She didn't pass or anything, but it was a story where this woman's daughter killed herself after she graduated, got a master's, and had a PhD basically because she wished that she could have possibly did more things. It's like stuff like that puts an initial drive, like when you force certain type of people that don't want to like do certain things with their life. Like, it's just keep making yourself happy really at the end of the day.
I feel that, but I feel like it's such a dangerous thing to do, man, because obviously
you got to take the risk when you're young.
I can agree with that in a sense. I can agree with that, and I won't speak on the situation you just brought up because I don't really have too much knowledge on that situation particularly. But
we're really getting personal in here. That's crazy.
It's the High Yellow Podcast. What do you want me to do? Listen, but however, I think what I've started to understand as well is not everyone has that drive though. I think that's what it is.
True.
At the end of the day, this podcast, I consider myself. I think I was blessed with a drive to pursue things. It took a long damn time. I've been wanting to get back into rapping for a long damn time. And I think I finally have had the mental space because I'm in a way better space than I was 3-4 years ago to pursue my career aspirations. And I think coronavirus has
just pushed everything back, really. But
yeah, exactly.
But
well, let me finish this point though.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Let me finish this point. So I can understand what you're saying, but however, the drive, man, I feel like not everyone has that drive. Yeah. And if you want to do multiple things in college and get a degree, it's very much possible.
It is.
We can say it's too hard, it's too difficult. Shit, I've said it's too difficult at times. I get overwhelmed with it, and I know other people do. But I feel like not everyone's built the same way. And I feel like if you're not built a certain way, you have to acknowledge it and kind of keep it pushing, man. However bad that sounds, because we all fake it at times. Like we all think we got it figured out, but
of course, and I don't judge anybody for it at all.
Of course, but I'm just saying, like if you don't have that that mental fortitude to go pursue your career, either with or without education, bro, I think that's okay to acknowledge you don't have it. Not everyone has it, and not everyone can. So, yeah, man, just trying to back the education. I think you get it both. But
no, you're good.
Yeah, I think you get it both, man. I really got to a space where I don't think there's any excuses, man. I really don't.
I just feel like it's more the music for me personally, and that's the reason why I decided to withdraw. Like I feel like my passion is more towards music because I can't see myself working a 9 to 5. I can't see myself like being at an office that's like working for somebody. I'd rather be happy and do what I could do creatively and then make those connections in order for me to be the boss and make those types of certain assertions where I do want certain things placed one way or another. Like, for example, I could tell you my plan right now is music, architecture, fashion designing, and modeling. I want to first make sure that because I get inspiration from my mom as well because like I said, she does social work. So what that is, who people don't know what social working is. It's basically CPS for like the special needs for children and for
a great woman.
Yeah,
moms.
I love her so much. I love that woman to death. But I want to build facilities when it comes to people with mental illnesses, with bipolar disorders, depression, special needs kids. I want them to express themselves creatively and figuratively instead of just like taking prescribed medication. So that's the reason why I got into architecture, because I wanted to learn certain things like that on what can be better for the community and what can I do to provide for the community. The reason why I chose business and marketing as well for a major, so I could market myself as an artist. I can market myself as more than an artist. So certain type of things that I learned in college, like revert back to the last conversation, college education, it can make you or break you. It can also help you or it can't help you. It just depends on how you take it.
Yeah.
A bachelor's degree, it can open doors, but it depends on the type of knowledge that you gain from that bachelor's degree. Everybody could walk around saying that I got a college diploma or a college degree, but what have you learned from that? Like, what type of experience do you have from that, basically?
Okay, I hear you, but I guess to play devil's advocate, you've kind of just addressed sort of the things you want to pursue as far as architecture and business management. But at the same time, you don't foresee yourself kind of going to get a degree anytime soon. Do you think those things are not necessary for a degree? Because do you plan on going back to school?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course. It's just it would be somewhere different. That's the thing. It wouldn't probably even be in Texas. I was thinking about probably low key going to UCLA. I have like the GPA and stuff for it, so it's just
okay. So you do plan on going back to school?
Of
That's
course.
Kind of
just right now, I'm using my youth at the moment in order for me to transpire into something else with my music. If something can't happen with my music, of course I'm gonna go back and finish school. I have 2.5 years underneath my belt where I could just finish some of my other prerequisites and finish whenever I need to. It's just being in your early 20s or like being in your late teenage, like 18, 19. I just feel like you should use that prime and that energy into tackles to something different that you really want to do versus than just going straight into school and just finishing up. I understand that some people want to graduate at a certain age, but I just feel like the youth that you have and the type of energy that you have now, you should pursue that into something.
I guess that's another thing we should distinguish, man. Is I feel like that's not an ego thing. Graduating at a certain age, I personally don't. So I've had to think over this, right? Because I would say my ego was sort of, I need to graduate at a certain point. I need to do this and that. But then I started sitting out.
That's the mindset for everybody.
That's another thing we need to kind of diffuse. I feel like
it's distilled into minorities. It's always going to be distilled into minorities because we're just known just to figure out what we're going to do after we graduate on top of it, because we have to push 10 times as harder in America versus than the average American. You get what I'm saying?
So I guess is that why you kind of think our ego is we kind of got to graduate at a certain specific time? Is that
our ego is more of that's where we get our drive from our egos. But when it comes to the education, I just feel like we should use our youth to prioritize into something else differently at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, I can agree with a lot of those points, man. I think we should get back to your album though, because that's kind of
we stuck on that hope for a minute.
No, that was a very productive conversation. Like I said, I really want to hit on the point, man. It's if you were getting back in education, it's a terrible time to do so, because I just think that's
another reason why.
Yeah, no, it's a terrible time. But you're saying eventually. I say it's a terrible time again because again tuition rates are increasing during a pandemic, and it's
and I just found out it's going to be $1 trillion in order for America to get back to the way it was. So we're $1 trillion like in the hole right now.
But hey man, at some point you just keep putting money on money. Like we've been kind of down and out for a minute, but that's a whole different story, man. But your album, bro, it's what's your favorite songs on the album, man? What kind of
shit, man? Irene, 6 Feet Under, Breaking Bad.
I got the clip from Breaking Bad. We might not have it, but I have it. If you want to get there, we can go into Breaking Bad.
We can, shit. I mean,
I don't know if
this was gonna come.
I don't know if
sooner or later.
Do we got the media? I don't know if we can get in there, because I'm actually very curious about. Because I feel like we're gonna have some disconnects, but at the same time, I think I will be able to come to some we'll be able to come to some conclusions, right? But well, I guess what we could. Oh, okay, we got it set up right here. Yeah, all right, we could play a little clip of it. I'm by my hands like a goalie. Make sure that my girl from the south side, and she put on the Spurs like Ginobili. She throwing that cake like Aoki. If I pay for your meal, you my homie. They say touch the sky, niggas get fly, and then crash and burn like they Kobe. I told them pull up to the spot. All right, so we just for the people listening that can't watch it, we kind of just played the audio of one of the songs, Breaking Bad, man, and I'm very interested to know. The song is fire.
Thank you.
First and foremost.
Thank you.
But that line specifically, give me kind of the Kobe reference. Give me kind of went into that and sort of yeah, what kind of went into that, man?
Okay, so you know what's funny about this song? I wrote this literally 2.5-3 weeks after he passed, as a matter of fact.
Oh man, you're not. Hey, man,
I don't want to make it seem like some whole shit, but let me further explain, because I don't want anybody to get mad or have any tension when it comes to that Kobe line. So I wanted to use that line in order for me to have an official come up. And what I mean by that is I just want to get an ear, get attention, and to grab people to just be like, yeah, I can say this shit. And it's just like, it's like a competitive drive for me. You know what I'm saying? And originally, this was supposed to be for my album that's coming out, I'm Immortal. So using famous celebrities references like such lines like Pop Smoke's line, Kobe Bryant. I'm using all of these influences because they influenced me inside my life at some time as well. Kobe Bryant, he's always been a role model inside my life. So I don't have any tension or hate towards Kobe Bryant. Yeah. I love that man to death. But I just feel like as much I can let me see. The way how I recorded this, I wanted to do it like what would Kobe Bryant would do in a certain time like this. Like if he was on a basketball court, he would usually talk shit, say what he got to say, talk shit in front of the other player's face, don't take shit from nobody. I wanted to put in a type of drive like that when it came to a certain line, because I know it would hurt people. I know it would offend people. I know it would grab people's ears.
Get under their skin.
Yeah, get under their skin. And it's just, I feel like personally, if he was alive to this day, I feel like he would fuck with that line pretty hard. He would be like, he really did that shit. Like, he's really hard for doing it. So it's just more of a thirst or more of a passion. Like, in a reverse back to my music passion, like, I could say one provocative line and niggas would just be like, damn, that shit hard. But the thing is, will it grab other people's ears? As much as it grabbed your ear by playing out.
Bro, I hit you up as soon as I heard it. Let me say, it's cool. I know we didn't play it in the audio just now, but you cleared it up. Sort of a little brief explicit, so that's why we didn't play it. Of why you used it. But let me give you my man. I like how you just cleared it up, actually. But I do think it was too soon. I really, you can make the argument both ways. I personally think it was too soon. But at the same time, being sincerely honest with you, my brother, I can understand. I can appreciate the artistry, right? Because I feel like in a rapper space, man, you have to. You have to, like you said, you have to push buttons, and you have to have.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And another thing, the point I really want to hit on is that art is subjective, bro. Like that's another thing, man. The fact I think it's too soon, but the fact you were willing to put that in there, amidst any type of negative feedback you'll get from it, again, because it's subjective and it's what you want to put in there, and. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the ego, man. People necessarily do.
Sometimes you gotta have an ego, especially when it comes to music. Like you see Kanye West and Eminem back in like 2000s, 2001, where Eminem had an ego. Shit, I kind of got the idea for using that line in one of his old songs when he was talking about Columbine, like a couple months after the Columbine shit happened. So it's like you want to, even though it's 2020, you want to bring certain type of nastiness and type of grittiness like they did back then back into the music, because people need stuff like that. People need attentional rise, and people need certain things that'll keep them entertained and like make sure like what the fuck, because I could do more than just rap like that. And you already saw on the album I could sing, I could do rock, I could do almost everything. So they could pay attention to that song, but then when they click on another song, it's like, oh, he could do this too. This nigga hard. So it's more of an attention grabber type of track versus than like I didn't want to make it seem like that it was just pure hate. And that's what people may make it seem by, but I know myself personally, and I'm an authentic person at the end of the day. So it's just sometimes you got to show your ego when it comes to the tracks.
For sure. I don't want to spend too much time on it, man, because like you said, you do a lot of the things. I wanted to bring that up because I personally wanted to get your opinion on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate you being so open to the idea. I didn't tell you he was going to play it, but I appreciate you being so willing to break that down for me, man.
You're trying to mean the guy on me, bro.
Bro, of course not. What? Nah. But what other song? No, honestly, I like how you broke it down. So I'm saying again, I can respect the artistry into it because it's subjective, and again, I might not agree with how you did it or what you said with it, but it's your art, and you portray your art how you want to portray your art. Not all art is pretty, so I can appreciate that. But I don't want to spend too much time on it because again, you do a lot of the things, man, and that's not even my favorite song. I like One Night Stand. So, but in case you don't want to talk about that song specifically, man. I guess just since the album's out now, but you're about to, it's not.
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Why not?
Yeah, basically, it's just type relationships that people go through, and it's just I don't want to like dive deep into it, but I've been in 4 or 5 different relationships for like the past 4 or 5 years, and it's just expecting something else out of this specific type of person in general. It kind of comes to like a conclusion or a realization that sometimes I need to check up on myself too and check myself. And like this is like the 5th time that I've got done out of a relationship, so it's either I'm gonna live my life or you're just gonna ride with me. We talked, but like I said, I don't want to dive into.
Yeah, no, you don't have to.
We're cordial and everything.
Yeah.
Like we still love each other at the end of the day. She listened to the whole album. She says that she loves the album.
No, that's fire, bro. I guess as we sort of wrap up, man, the rest of this album, how do you see it being kind of received? I guess you can kind of explain how, because aren't you not re-releasing it on your birthday, but how is that gonna?
So for my birthday, I was gonna drop a deluxe version of the album, drop it on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Google Play, all that stuff. But hopefully, I hope it gets some good views and good reception by the time it hits my birthday. I'm gonna just keep pushing it until then, and plus I got a couple music videos on the way. Excuse me, and I'm just gonna keep on making more fire. I'm Immortal's coming out, Apollo's coming out. I got 2 more albums coming out with a couple collab projects as well. So I really just been locked in inside the vault. Like shit, I got 30 songs mixed already, but I got other shit inside my laptop that I'm still working on personally. But The music, the shit don't stop.
I'm ready, bro. I'm supporting, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop some shit probably in the next 2 weeks. Low key, I needed to keep a consistent stride.
For sure, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, hey, man, if there's anything else, I kind of watching again your drive and your desire to pursue this, because again, it's so hard to break through as a rapper, bro. It's so hard. And what I've understood is that every creative endeavor is going to be that way. But I feel like rapping, it's just a different thing, man, because everyone's kind of watching you, I don't know, it's a little different. I don't know what it is, but it's you have to have a desire to make it, and you've been doing it for 6-7 years like we talked about, and you've been able to continuously have that drive. So I appreciate that. Maybe I got some of that drive from you, bro, to pursue this. I don't know.
You always got,
like I said, I was rapping before you, but I mean, I've definitely had to pursue things like this and take the time to pursue other endeavors that I've wanted to do. So
I mean, if you ever want to get into music, you already know I got the microphone and shit set up. So it's just
give me about 5 years, bro. Let me get the
years.
podcast. You know, it's funny. I was saying, give me 5 years. 5 years ago, like I'm not even.
I'm not.
But let me. But hey, this is a start because we got the podcast going, and now this is kind of the domain right now. But
this
I feel
is
like
my question to you before we end it off, since we're doing interviews.
Yeah.
So, what do you see yourself doing when it comes to this podcast? And speaking of the next 5 years, 5-6 years tops,
where do I see this podcast going?
Where do you see this transpiring within the next 5-6 years?
Yeah,
your
man.
Perception?
I think it's gonna open a lot of doors. See what's beautiful.
Do you see this going internationally, statewide?
Well, that's the goal. You know what I'm saying? That's the goal. But what I've sort of come to the realization is that this isn't about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm bringing people on. I brought you on to obviously promote your album, bro, and I'm bringing on people to tell their stories. And if there's one thing I'll give UT credit for, or just their journalism school credit for, is, man, the key thing to being a journalist is telling other people's stories. So this is me giving a chance for people to tell their story on my platform, and it's dope. It's just dope, to be honest with you. To answer your question directly, I don't know, but I don't think it's that important. That hopefully we get it to where
respect that. Just gotta live life right now.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to live in the present, bro. That's the hardest thing to do. That's the hardest thing. Like I said, I've tried to figure out, because I got so much coming up I'm already starting school right now. Like, I don't know how. We'll see how I'm able to manage the two dynamics. But I mean, like I said,
you smart.
I appreciate that, man. Like, it's a drive, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's a drive, man. I don't think we don't have to go back into what I think. But hey, man, Francis Thomas, bro, it's been a pleasure, my brother. Thank you for coming on the pod, bro. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate you for even having me here in the first place. Like, you my brother. You didn't even have to do this, and I love you to death for it. So
hey, man, we trying to get them sales up. We trying to promote, man.
Hey, man, go stream To the Moon and Back, SoundCloud, deluxe version coming out August 28th, know what I'm saying? New music dropping soon, 80 Moon shit. Yes, sir.